Jai Shri Ram. Illusions is the name of a book I read in high school because my father gave it to me. The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah, Richard Bach. I don't remember much, but it inspired me a lot. So I am reading it out, summarizing it for you. And in the first chapter, there is a person who is addressed as the Master. And then Master tells us a story. The story is, once there lived a village of creatures along the bottom of a great crystal river. The current of the river swept silently over them, all young and old, rich and poor, good and evil, the current going its own way, knowing only its own crystal self. Each creature in its own manner clung tightly to the twigs and rocks of the river bottom, for clinging was their way of life. Clinging, you see. We are all clinging to something and resisting the current, what each had learned from birth. But one creature said at last, I am tired of clinging. Though I cannot see it with my eyes, I trust that the current knows where it is going. I shall let go and let it take me. Let it take me where it will. Clinging, I shall die of boredom. Clinging, I will die of boredom. The other creatures laughed and said, Fool! Let go, and that current you worship will throw you tumbled and smashed across the rocks, and you will die quicker than boredom. But the one heeded them not, and taking a breath did let go, and at once was tumbled and smashed by the current across the rocks. Yet in time, as the creature refused to cling again, the current lifted him free from the bottom, and he was bruised and hurt no more. And the creatures downstream, to whom he was a stranger, cried, See a miracle! A creature like ourselves, yet he flies. See the Messiah, come to save us all. And the one carried in the current said, I am no more Messiah than you. The river delights to lift us free. If only we dare let go our true work or this voyage, this adventure. But they cried the more, Saviour, all the while clinging to the rocks, and when they looked again he was gone, and they were left alone, making legends of his Saviour. And it came to pass, when he saw that the multitude thronged him, the more day on day, tighter and closer and fiercer than ever they had, when he saw that they pressed him to heal them without rest, and feed them always with his miracles, to learn for them and to live their lives. He went alone that day unto a hilltop apart, and there he prayed. And he said in his heart, Infinite, radiant ease, if it be thy will, let this cup pass from me, let me lay aside the impossible task. I cannot live the life of one other soul. Yet 10,000 cry to me for life. I am sorry, I allowed it all to happen. If it be thy will, let me go back to my engines. Let me go back to my engines and my tools, and let me live as other men. And a voice spoke to him on the hilltop. A voice neither male nor female, loud nor soft, a voice infinitely kind. And the voice said, Not my will, but thine be done. For what is thy will is mine for thee. Go thy way as other men, and be thou happy on the earth. And hearing, the Master was glad and gave thanks and came down from the hilltop, humming a little mechanic's song. And when the throng pressed him with its woes, beseeching him to heal for it and learn for it and feed it non-stop from his understanding and to entertain it with his wonders, he smiled upon the multitude and said pleasantly unto them, I quit. For a moment the multitude was stricken dumb with astonishment. And he said unto them, If a man told God that he wanted most of all to help the suffering world, no matter the price to himself, and God answered and told him what he must do, should the man do as he is told? Of course, master, cried the many. It should be pleasure for him to suffer the tortures of hell itself, should God ask for it. No matter what those tortures or nor how difficult the task. That's the question he asked. Honor to be hanged, glory to be nailed to a tree, and burned, if so be that God had asked, said they. And what would you do, the master? Said unto the multitude. If God spoke directly to your face and said, I command that you be happy in the world as long as you live, what would you do then? And the multitude was silent. Not a voice, not a sound. Not a sound was heard upon the hillsides, across the valleys where they stood. And the master said unto the silence, In the path of our happiness shall we find the learning for which we have chosen this lifetime. So it is that I have learned this day, and choose to leave you now to walk your own path as you please. And he went his way through the crowds and left them, and he returned to the everyday world of men and machines. Nice story. So in this book he talks about a Messiah's handbook and reminders for the advanced soul. And they are short prose poems. I will just read a few for you. Perspective. Use it or lose it. If you turn to this page, you are forgetting that what is going on around you is not reality. Think about that. Remember where you came from and where you're going and why you created the mess you got yourself into in the first place. You're going to die a horrible death, remember. It's all good training and you'll enjoy it more if you keep the facts in mind. Take your dying with some seriousness, however. Laughing on the way to your execution is not generally understood by less advanced life forms, and they'll call you crazy. Learning is finding out what you already know. Doing is demonstrating that you know it. Teaching is reminding others that they know just as well as you. You are all learners, doers, teachers. Your only obligation in any lifetime is to be true to yourself. Being true to anyone else or anything else is not only impossible, but the mark of a fake Messiah. The simplest questions are the most profound. Where were you born? Where is your home? Where are you going? What are you doing? Think about these once in a while and watch your answers change. You teach best what you most need to learn. You teach best what you most need to learn. Live, never to be ashamed if anything you do or say is published around the world, even if what is published is not true. Your friends will know you better in the first minute you meet them. Your acquaintances will know you in 1,000 years. The best way to avoid responsibility is to say, I've got responsibilities. You are led through your lifetime by the inner learning creature, the playful spiritual being that is your real self. Don't turn away from possible futures before you're certain you don't have anything to learn from them. You're always free to change your mind and choose a different future or a different past. There is no such thing as a problem without a gift for you in its hands. You seek problems because you need their gifts. The bond that links your true family is not one of blood, but of respect and joy in each other's life. Rarely do members of one family grow up under the same roof. Argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they are yours. A cloud does not know why it moves in just such a direction and at such a speed. It feels an impulsion. This is the place to go now. But the sky knows the reasons and the patterns behind all clouds. And you will know too when you lift yourself high enough to see beyond the horizons. Remember, you are never given a wish without also being given the power to make it true. You may have to work for it, however. So that's awesome, isn't it? You are never given a wish without also being given the power to make it true. Keep your dream alive. It may come true. The world is your exercise book, the pages on which you do your sums. It is not reality. Although you can express reality there if you wish, you are also free to write nonsense or lies or to tear the pages. The original sin is to limit the is. Don't limit the is. Possibilitarian, be one. Possibilitarian. Your conscience is the measure of the honesty of your selfishness. Listen to it carefully. Every person, all the events of your life and every person, all the events of your life are there because you have drawn them there. What you choose to do with them is up to you. Here is a test to find whether your mission on earth is finished. If you are alive, it isn't. In order to live free and happily, you must sacrifice boredom. You must sacrifice boredom. It is not always an easy sacrifice. People love their boredom. They love to live in their comfort zone. Comfort zone, you see, nothing great comes out of comfort zones. So get out of your comfort zone. Don't be dismayed at goodbyes. A farewell is necessary before you can meet again. And meeting again after moments or lifetimes is certain for those who are friends. Here I am reminded of the Vedas. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vruksham parishasva jati tayor anyaha pippalam swadvati anashnan anyo abhichakashiti. Krishna and all of us and Prakriti. These three are the eternal verities. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidya Nadi Ubhavapi. Vidya Anadi Ubhavapi. So, what are the three eternities or three eternal verities, truths, according to the Vedas? Paramatma, Jivatma, and nature, Prakriti. So, God did not create us, because had He created us, then we would have been perfect like Him. So, we are also causeless, we are eternal, and our ignorance is also beginningless. So, and Prakriti is also eternal. So, the whole purpose of life is to meet Krishna. Meet Krishna. See Krishna. So, that is why the parable in the Vedas says, Dva Suparna, two birds on the tree of the body. Krishna is sitting right on top, and you and I are hopping from branches to branches, eating sweet fruits and sometimes bitter, sometimes sour, and Krishna is looking down waiting for you and me to join him right at the top. So that is samsara. So don't be dismayed at goodbyes. A farewell is necessary before you can meet again, and meeting again after moments or lifetimes is certain for those who are friends, and Krishna is our eternal friend, eternal companion. The mark of your ignorance is the depth of your belief in injustice and tragedy. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. So all the trouble that you are facing in your life, you will be able to learn many things, constantly learn, become wiser, smarter, and don't waste your time. Sacrifice boredom. Do not seek escapism. Do not mindlessly get into something to get over your trauma and numb the pain and depression. Do not do that. What are your aptitudes? Live up to them. And finally, the author says, everything in this book may be wrong. That's how it ends. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed listening to this.